Hi everyone, Austin with Sun Fun Kits. Today we're going to do a load test or a capacity test on one of the 275 HP batteries. And this test is a little different. We're going to be using our sort of mobile electronic loads. We have these devices that help us test batteries in the field. They're not as powerful or as capable as our big main rack mounted electronic load, but they can give us a pretty good idea. And you can also gang two them up together to get like a combined load output, so that also sort of helps. Now they're rated for 400 watts, but we really can't run them at that high, so we normally will run them for like 20, 25 watts so that its overall load does not exceed 400 watts. And here what we found is 26 amps is sort of the limit for both. So that's what we normally will run. That means combined, it's going to put about a 52 amp load on our battery. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure the battery is fully charged, and make sure when you go to your tools tab, and you absolutely make sure that your low voltage cutoff is set to 10 volts. Even if it says 10 volts, go ahead and hit update and make sure you hit the update button. That's going to make sure that the BMS is exactly calibrated to 10 volts. If you don't, you're going to get an error trying to run the benchmark. The other thing is you're going to need some sort of tablet device. We recommend Android, as that's what we have done most testing on. It does need to be plugged in, because this test is going to run for about 5 to 6 hours, and that means that if you have a phone, it's going to shut off. The screen will stay on the whole time, so you'll need some sort of device like that to do this test. Okay. We also want to look at the details, make sure everything's fully charged. Here we see all of our cells are at 3.56, 3.4, 3.55, pretty well balanced, and we see the total voltage of the battery is around 14.2 volts. Now, you will notice that there's a slight difference between the voltage reading here, and this is set to 10 volt cutoff. So it's going to be accurate for the most part, but you may have a few amp hours that it's not going to detect simply because of the voltage difference. That's just something you'll have to live with, and it should give us a pretty good idea, but just understand you might get like 273 or 274-ish. 1 or 2 amp hours will be left over the tail because these do have a hard 10 volt cutoff. You cannot go below 10 volts with these devices. Anyway, we're going to go to our benchmark, and once we're here, everything is set. We can go ahead and hit begin test. Oh, by the way, we do have our GoPro, so I guess we can go ahead and start the recording. So let's go ahead and hit begin test. It's going to say test started successfully. And then it's going to make sure each of our cells is 3.4 or higher, or 13.6 total. We'll hit OK. So now the system's basically waiting for you to apply the load. So when we apply the load, we're going to hit on for the first one and on for the second one. So now we have 2 loads applying, and we should see in a minute that, yep, there we go. And as you can see, it's detecting 52.5, which is pretty much exactly what 2 of these are, 226 amps. So now the system is recording, and we are also recording on our little GoPro, which is going to give us a sort of a time-lapse video. And yeah, this is going to take approximately 6 hours, 6 hours or so to complete. So you just sort of set this, walk away, let it run, and when we'll be done, we'll have the results. We'll see what we get. And yeah, that should be fairly close to a 0.2C load, and when we'll come back and see what the results are. And then in the next test, we'll actually do a high load test on the battery, see what the 275 can do, what sort of maximum amps you can get out of it, and see how that sort of performs. All right. finish our test. Just got the test completed, and we have let's see here. Looks like we have a measured current of 277.167 and watt hours of 3,546. So next, all right. So now let's try to do some different load tests on the 275 HP battery and see what type of results we get. So we can see the batteries are about 3.37 volts. So about, I would say about, somewhere in the 90% charge, or, 85. So what we're going to do is we'll start off with the 500 watt load, and let's see what happens. So now the system is set to charge 500 watts, and we will see what sort of power we're creating. So we have 506 watts being registered on the battery and 500 watts being registered on the electronic load. So fairly close. So let's now go to something higher. We'll put a 1000 watt load, okay? And that means we're drawing about 77 amps. So the system is registering 1027 watts. Cells are holding at a nice 3.31, 3.32, so pretty good. And I think the temperatures are also somewhere in the 80s or so. So yeah, everything seems to be doing good. So that's fine. So now let's start getting into some higher loads. Now this is usually what we recommend you not really go higher on the 275 AP. You can, the cells can certainly do it. It does start getting a little hot. All right, so at 1500 watts, we're drawing 120 amps, and registering on the device 1570, so 1570 watts. So a little higher than what the electronic load is, but again, cells seem to be doing very well. Somewhere at 3.26, 3.28, so it's able to hold it, and this is sort of on the upper end of it. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and max out the BMS, and the BMS is 150 amp BMS, so normally that means you can go up to 1800 watts, and this is probably going to be your high limit on the 275 HP. You can do it, just understand you're going above spec because it is rated for 125 amp continuous. So when you go at around 1800 watts, you're probably going to be in 135, 140, so you can be a little higher than we normally recommend. It can do it, but your connectors and stuff are going to start getting a little hot. So we're now at 145 amps, pulling 1800 watts. And according to the load, it's at 19. And again, the cells are 3.24, 3.26, 3.2. So, again, in that 3.25 range. So they can certainly handle it. But this is going to be your upper end for the 275 HP. Really only do this if you need to start something up for a little bit. I mean, this is probably enough to even start up a single air conditioner. That's enough to start off a 13,500 BTU AC. I wouldn't run it like that on a single battery. If you're planning on running an AC, you should get 2 of these. But as you can see, it can handle 146, 150 amps, and that's sort of the upper limit of the BMS inside it. Not recommend you run this for a long period of time. Certainly the cells can't handle it, but you'll sort of, be in the upper range. All right, let's wrap up this video. So let's actually see what one of these 275 HP batteries weighs. So we're going to put it on our scale and see what we find. All right. So the 275 HP is a little lighter than the 300. You're looking at probably closer to 54, 55 poundish. We'll get it centered. And we are at 54.55 pounds. So there you go. 3.6 kilowatts, 275 amp hours, and it's going to come in under 55. Now, shipping weight's going to be closer to 61, 62 pounds. But while it's probably heavier than most 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries, you get almost 3 times the usable capacity. So pound for pound, I don't think you can beat this. I think it's fairly compact. You're looking approximately Width-wise, from end to end is about 14 inches, and it is about 10.5 inches here, and this puts it right at around 11. The handles will add about 0.5 0.5 inches in overall width. But all in all, if some of the things that we have that we do know, it will fit properly inside most of the like the Sprinter vans, the little area by the wheel wells. This will get in right there, and you can replace, almost replace 300 amp hour traditional batteries with the 275 HP. All right, so that's going to be about it. I hope this overview was a good overall sort of view. If there are some accessories available for it. One of the ones that's really popular is our heated basket, and we'll kind of just give you a preview of that. So the 275 HP works really well with the heated battery jacket. The heated battery jacket has a aluminum heating plate on the bottom that will heat the battery. The 275 does not have built-in heaters, so the 275 HP works fantastic with the battery. It fits really nice. We're gonna put it in here really quick to kind of show you how that looks like. All right, so with installing the bag, it's gonna fit, nicely in here, and provide you with the 1 inch all the way around insulation with the easy to use zip, and you can run your main lugs through the ports on the side here, so they'll just touch that. We don't have it plugged in right now, but when you do, it all works, and it's a very easy to use system. Just press and hold, and when you do it, you have mode 1, which will sort of keep the internal temperature of the bag around 60 degrees. You can learn more on the heated battery page and see what that is. But overall weight with the battery jacket, you're going to be a little heavier. Actually, let's this is probably going to add about go ahead and reset it. 0. So 57.75. So you're going to be adding about 3 pounds to your overall weight, but good protection from the environment, works really well, and it's still under 60 pounds. I think it'll work really well for you guys. Okay, that'll be all. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll look forward to speaking with you. Thank you.